Have you ever wondered whether it's smarter to buy individual stocks or invest in index funds? If you're just starting your investing journey, this is one of the biggest questions you'll face, and getting it right can make a huge difference in your financial future. In this video, we'll explore the pros and cons of each option in simple, practical terms. We'll talk about risk, returns, time commitment, psychology, and how each choice affects your long-term wealth. By the end, you'll have a clear answer about which strategy makes more sense for beginners, and a roadmap for getting started. And hey, before we dive in, don't forget to hit the like button if you want to learn how to make smarter financial decisions. And of course, subscribe to Smart Money 101 so you don't miss out on more simple, practical investing tips every week. Let's get started. So first, what are we actually comparing? An individual stock is ownership in one specific company, like Apple, Tesla, or Amazon. When you buy a share of stock, you're becoming a partial owner of that company. If the company does well, your stock goes up in value, and you can make money through price appreciation or dividends. But if that company struggles, your investment drops, sometimes drastically. An index fund, on the other hand, is a collection of many different companies bundled into one investment. For example, an S&P 500 index fund holds shares in the 500 largest US companies, meaning you instantly own a small piece of all of them. When you invest in an index fund, you're not trying to guess which company will win. You're betting on the entire economy growing over time. Now let's unpack the key differences, starting with risk and diversification. When you buy one stock, you're concentrating your risk in a single company. If that company faces a scandal, a poor earnings report, or an industry downturn, your investment can crash overnight. But index funds spread your risk across hundreds, even thousands, of companies. If one business struggles, another may rise. That balance gives you smoother, more predictable long-term returns. Think of it like this: investing in individual stocks is like betting on one horse. Investing in index funds is like owning part of the entire racetrack. Now, let's talk about time and effort. Picking individual stocks requires research, a lot of it. You'll need to read financial statements, understand balance sheets, track earnings calls, study trends, and follow economic news. And that's not a one-time thing. It's ongoing work. On the other hand, index funds are mostly set it and forget it. Once you choose a good fund, like an S&P 500 or total market fund, you can automate your investments and focus on other things in life. That's one reason why index funds are perfect for beginners who want to grow wealth without constantly worrying about market moves. Now let's discuss performance, and this might surprise you. Over the long term, most people, even professionals, fail to outperform the market. According to studies by S&P Dow Jones, more than 80% of actively managed funds underperform index funds after 10 years. That's right. Even experts with teams of analysts and advanced tools still can't consistently beat a simple index fund. So, if professionals struggle to beat the market, what are the odds that a beginner will? Pretty low. That's why investing legend Warren Buffett once said, "Most investors, both large and small, should simply invest in index funds." Now let's move on to costs and fees. When you buy individual stocks, you may pay a small transaction fee each time you trade. But the real cost often comes from mistakes, buying high and selling low, or jumping in and out of the market based on emotion. Index funds have expense ratios, which are small annual management fees, but they're usually extremely low. For example, Vanguard's S&P 500 index fund has an expense ratio of around 0.03%. That means you'll pay just 30 cents per year for every $1,000 you invest. Compare that to actively managed mutual funds, where fees can be 1% or more. Over 30 years, that difference can cost you tens of thousands of dollars. Now, let's talk about psychology, because this is a big one. When you own individual stocks, emotions can easily take over. If your stock rises, you feel like a genius. If it falls, you panic. You might start checking your phone every hour or reacting to every headline. This emotional roller coaster leads to impulsive decisions that hurt your returns. Index funds help protect you from that. Because they're diversified and long-term, you're less likely to obsess over short-term movements. You simply invest consistently, and let compounding work quietly in your favor. Speaking of compounding, let's talk about the power of time. If you invest $200 per month in an S&P 500 index fund with an average annual return of 8%, in 30 years, you'll have around $270,000. Increase that to $500 per month, and you'll end up with over $670,000. That's the magic of steady investing. No need to pick winners or time the market. Now, let's look at the learning experience. Investing in individual stocks can actually be a great teacher. When you research companies, you learn how businesses operate, how markets behave, and how global events affect prices. If you enjoy that process, and can afford to take on some extra risk, it can be both educational and rewarding. But remember, education doesn't have to cost you money in the form of losses. Start small, maybe with 10 to 20% of your portfolio in individual stocks, and keep the rest in index funds. That way, you learn without risking your entire savings. Let's call this the hybrid approach. Imagine you put 80% of your money into a total market index fund for stability, and 20% into a few individual companies you believe in, maybe Apple, Google, or a company you understand deeply. That mix gives you the best of both worlds: safety from diversification and excitement from personal stock choices. Now, let's make this real with an example. Say you invested $1,000 in Tesla stock in 2013. By 2023, that would have grown to over $100,000, incredible, right? But what if you had chosen a company like Blockbuster or BlackBerry back in the day? You might have lost everything. Now, compare that to an S&P 500 index fund. If you invested $1,000 10 years ago, today you'd have around $3,200, not as explosive as Tesla, but steady, reliable, and consistent. That's the trade-off. Individual stocks can make you rich, or broke. Index funds make you wealthy, slowly, but surely. Another major advantage of index funds is automatic reinvestment. Most index funds automatically reinvest dividends, which means your earnings start earning their own earnings, creating exponential growth over time. And let's not forget tax efficiency. Because index funds don't trade as often, they generate fewer taxable events. That means less tax drag compared to buying and selling individual stocks frequently. Now, if you're wondering how to start, here's a quick beginner roadmap. Step 1. Choose a brokerage account. Some good options include Vanguard, Fidelity, Schwab, or even apps like Robinhood or M1 Finance. Step 2. Look for low-cost index funds like VU, Vanguard S&P 500 ETF, SCHB, Schwab US Broad Market ETF, or ITOT, iShares Total Market ETF. Step 3. Set up automatic monthly contributions. Treat it like a bill that pays your future self. Step 4. Be patient. Don't panic during market dips. In fact, that's when your regular investments buy more shares at lower prices. And step 5. Keep learning. Watch videos like The Power of Compound Interest and Investing 101. How to start with just $100, both on this channel, to keep improving your financial mindset. Remember, investing is a marathon, not a sprint. The people who win are those who stay consistent, not those who chase the hottest stock tips. So, which is better for beginners? If you value stability, simplicity, and peace of mind, index funds are the clear winner. If you crave control, enjoy research, and can handle volatility, individual stocks can be a fun side project. But for most people starting out, the safest and smartest way to build long-term wealth is through index funds. And here's the truth: you don't have to pick one forever. You can start with index funds, build a solid base, and later experiment with stocks once you feel more confident. Whatever you do, remember, the most powerful step is simply starting. The earlier you begin, the longer your money has to grow. If this video helped you understand the difference between index funds and individual stocks, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. It really helps support this channel. And make sure to subscribe to Smart Money 101 for more weekly videos that make money simple. You can also check out our related videos, The Power of Compound Interest Explained, Investing 101, How to Start with Just $100. Thanks for watching, and remember, smart money decisions today lead to financial freedom tomorrow.